Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining our webinar this evening. My name is Ellen Gibson. I'm from the Future Students team at UTAS. I'm based in New South Wales at the Sydney campus, so I may or may not have met a few of you at some school events over the last couple of months. But yeah, this event this evening is really for students who are, looking at making the move for university in general, and hopefully looking at making the move to UTAS. I'm joined here tonight by two of our wonderful student ambassadors. We've got Anna and we've got Imogen as well. And then I've also got my colleague Ben in the background who's going to be answering all of your questions. So yeah, that's kind of our introduction for the team that's here tonight to chat with you all. And before we go on to the agenda, I am just going to do a quick acknowledgement of country. So tonight we will acknowledge the Palawa people of Lutruwita in Tasmania and the Gadigal people of Sydney, the traditional owners and custodians of the land upon which we live and work. We pay respects to elders past and present as the knowledge holders and sharers. We honour their strong culture and knowledge as the vital to the self-determination, well-being and strength of the community. And we stand for a future that profoundly respects and acknowledges Aboriginal perspectives, culture, language and history. So yeah, a little bit about our agenda this evening. So we're going to give you an introduction to UTAS, where we're based, a little bit about the things that we offer here, also about how we can prepare you for the next step of university, so how things might look for you over the next 6 months, how we can help you prepare. You'll also hear from our student panel tonight about their own experiences and the support that the university has provided to them, and then just a little bit about next steps for you and kind of what to expect.
At the University of Tasmania, you can study outstanding courses in some of the world's most breathtaking places. Our fieldwork and hands-on learning experiences take you on the water and across our incredible island.
We have 3 main campuses around Tasmania and a campus in Sydney. We have amazing opportunities to study abroad and see the world while you study.
We believe that university is for everyone. That's why we've been working with schools and the government to create a range of pathway options. We'll always have a place for you here, online or in person. We offer lots of support, including academic help, free counselling and the Riawana Centre for Indigenous students.
At the University of Tasmania, you can make friends and find like-minded people by joining a club or a society. Learn how to scuba dive, bond over group bushwalks, chat about anime, or join a social justice club.
You can study online with us from wherever you are. You'll be inspired, informed, and supported by the best of Tasmania. Choose from over 100 online courses, including short courses. We have generous scholarships, including relocation support to help you move and get settled, as well as study and career services to help you thrive. On campus, we have more than 100 quality courses covering a broad range of disciplines, allowing you to pursue your passion. You can even choose a double degree to deepen your knowledge within 2 separate study areas. In agriculture, learn from industry leaders in a state that produces some of the world's finest food. Complete your degree in just 2 years through our business, nursing, or paramedicine accelerated bachelor degrees. Study marine and Antarctic science to contribute to the global climate change conversation. Studying the environment, you'll learn about conservation and ecotourism. It's the only course of its kind in Australia.
Exercise science gives you the opportunity to work with professional athletes at the Tasmanian Institute of Sport and to stand out in a smaller field of students. Study music and performing arts at the Hedberg. Our brand new performing arts precinct is a learning space with state-of-the-art rehearsing, performing and recording facilities.
There are plenty of work experience opportunities with internationally acclaimed festivals, the Tasmanian Symphony Orchestra, and visiting artists. Studying architecture and design, you can work alongside industry professionals at events such as Mona Foma and Junction Arts Festival. Our Australian Maritime College is the only tertiary institution of its kind in Australia, with strong links to industry, government, and research.
And those are just some of the exciting and distinctive areas of study on offer. Applying to the University of Tasmania is easy and free. You can apply directly through our website to start your journey in a place unlike any other.
So University of Tasmania is #1 university in the world for climate action. And that's a ranking that we've held from 2022 right through to 2025. So something that we are extremely proud of. And it's something that really kind of shows within everything that we do. So whether that's, the equipment that we use, the teaching models that we kind of adhere to, it's really kind of embedded into everything at the uni. A little bit about our campuses. So for those of you that aren't aware, so we have 3 campuses in Tasmania. We have our southern campus in Hobart, which is kind of spread around a few kind of different campuses, including like the Sandy Bay CBD campus and the medical precinct. We've also got our Launceston campuses. We've got the campus in Burnie and also in Sydney, which is a health-focused campus around nursing and paramedicine. So a little bit about the Hobart campus. You can see here, it's really an incredible location. We'll get our student ambassadors just to kind of talk a little bit about their experience in Hobart so far, but this image kind of really shows exactly how beautiful Hobart is. It's kind of such a fantastic city to be a part of, and this kind of just showcases just a little small aspect of that. In Hobart, so you're studying in the heart of the city, you're by the water, and it's a very kind of community engaging environment. So yeah, as I've mentioned, we've got the Sandy Bay campus. We've also got the Forest, which is a really new facility in Hobart. You can see in this image here on the left. It's a really vibrant kind of student-facing space, all made from recyclable materials, and very kind of open and engaging environment. We've also got the Hedberg and the Hunter Street facilities for our music and art students, the medical science precinct for all of our healthcare students, and then Salamanca and Taruna, which is the home of the Institute of Marine and Antarctic Science, as well as we've got our forest location as well. And these are kind of all these locations here in Hobart are super accessible. So if you're a strong walker, you can probably walk between all campuses about 20 to 25 minutes. But you can also hop on the Uni Hopper, which is provided for all students at UTAS. So you can just hop between locations and kind of do that fairly easily. In Launceston, so this is one of our northern campuses. So Lonnie is actually Tasmania's second largest city, and it's home to our Inveresk and Newnham campuses. So at Inveresk, students are studying at the River's Edge building and the workshop in the shed. So these are kind of our study areas that look at architecture, education, nursing, all those kind of things based in Launceston. But then we also have our Newnham campus, which is home to the Australian Maritime College. So really one of those specialised kind of study areas at UTAS. And you can see from the image here, the shed at Inveresk is very new. We've had a lot of upgrades to a lot of our campuses over the last probably 5 years. So really fantastic spaces that you could be learning in. And this is the Cradle Coast, our Northwest campus, probably like a similar size to our Sydney campus. I think we have about 400 to 600 students at this campus, and probably one of our kind of most upcoming spaces. So we have students here who are doing nursing, pharmacy, medicine, and education as well. And the views really are incredible. I know that some of our students that are based here talk about the fact that you can go and see penguins on the beach near the Cradle Coast campus. So something that is just incredibly rare, not something that you can experience probably anywhere else. So yeah, a very exciting location to be. As I mentioned, we obviously do have our education and healthcare students based there, but we also have the Tasmanian Institute of Agriculture is actually located there too, as well as the Rural Clinical School, which is part of the medicine programme here at UTAS. I'm also just going to cover the Sydney campus just briefly. I know some of you are maybe not thinking about Sydney, but we can't leave Sydney out. It's where I'm based, so we can't do that. But a little bit about the Sydney campus. So we're about 10 minutes from Sydney CBD on the bus. And this campus here is a health focused campus around nursing and paramedicine. So it's a super accessible campus, free parking, which people love to hear, and very easily accessible by public transport as well. So just to kind of move on to the next steps of our webinar, will you move to Tasmania? How does this look for you over the next 6 to 9 months, and what can we do to support you? So choosing the right university for you. This is something that we think is incredibly important if you are looking to move away from home, and it's a really big decision to make. So how can we kind of support you to make those decisions? So really the things that you want to think about is lifestyle considerations, what travel opportunities there is, independence, what global opportunities is there that the university has to offer. Are you able to go and do a semester abroad? Are you able to go and do a whole year abroad if that's something that's important to you? And ultimately, why Tasmania in general? So we all can kind of see from these images here, but Tasmania really is such a fantastic state in terms of the community aspect that students feel while they're there, as well as this kind of outdoorsy lifestyle that I'm really hoping that our student ambassadors can kind of talk to in much better detail than I can. But it's really just kind of looking at that student life and kind of how things look for you. These are some of the things that we feel why moving for uni might be a good choice for you, and maybe how to kind of come to that decision factor. So these are some of the reasons why studying interstate might be the right reason for you. So some of the courses that we offer might be unique to something that you're interested in, whether that's marine sciences, maritime engineering, outdoor education, and the environment courses, or even just looking at our arts or music programs, what makes them a little bit different from other unis. Also kind of looking at the size and lifestyle of the city that you're going to move to. So whether that's you kind of want to be in a bigger city or a smaller location, something that we really take pride in at UTAS is smaller class sizes. So you're always going to have a smaller class no matter what course you're enrolled in. And that's something that we really take on board for our students. We want you to not feel like a number and just kind of get to know everyone in your class as well as your teachers that you're spending so much time with. It's really important to us. And yeah, also looking at like the research that universities do. So whether that's important to you and your chosen degree option, and kind of the values and the ethics that a university has to offer. So for us, for example, sustainability is a huge factor of the things that we do at UTAS. And if that's important to you as well, then you'll probably fit right in. Yes, so we've kind of spoken about those kind of factors and to why these key things are really important to making decisions. But there is obviously pros and cons to that decision factor. For us, we really advise you to research the place that you're looking into, look at the size, look at the affordability, and your employability options for the course that you're interested in. We also think it's incredibly important for you to look into early offers, whether university does offer an early offer program. If it doesn't, what's the 8-hour entry into the course that you're interested in? And also assessing your scholarship options for the university that you're looking at. So why UTAS? Obviously, Australian unis in general are some of the best in the world, and this kind of just highlights some of the things that Australian universities have. We have a lot of choice, and it's really an incredible achievement to just be part of a university in Australia in general. But UTAS, there's so many things that make us so special. And we really just want to kind of show all of you how exciting it can be as a student here. So for those of you that are thinking about moving away from home and living in a student accommodation and kind of making those changes, these are some of the tips that we think would really benefit you kind of long term looking at that student accommodation option. So we really advise students to live on campus if you can for at least the first 6 to 12 months, and if not more. Quite a few of our students do end up kind of staying on into their second year as well, because they just love the lifestyle that a student accommodation has to offer. Look at the university social media accounts. So whether that's look at our YouTube videos, Instagram, even searching up the Instagram page for some of our sports and societies, it really gives you a great indication as to what things are happening on a day-to-day basis, and how students are getting involved in the things that they're passionate about. Another thing that we really like to kind of drum home is, as soon as you know that you're going to come to us and you're planned to study with UTAS, make sure that you know when everything's happening. So get dates in your calendar and be there for orientation week to talk to clubs and societies, and kind of make those connections in your first couple of weeks, because that's the important time, is to kind of get to know everybody then. And yeah, kind of look at the student associations and clubs. And even if there's something that you've never thought of before, so you could even be studying a music degree or an arts degree, but you think, well, actually, I've got kind of a slight interest in marine sciences or law, for example. And you might think, well, I could join one of those clubs in my spare time to kind of see where it goes with that interest. And you never know, you might end up adding an elective unit about one of those areas into your study plan, because you've kind of worked out that that's something that you're passionate about. So yeah, we really just want you to kind of be open about how things can be, and yeah, make the most of all of the opportunities that we have to offer. So we've kind of covered a little bit about how we can support you. I've mentioned about orientation. It is an incredibly interactive welcome week at UTAS, so a really good opportunity to meet new people. Another thing that I will get our students here to talk about is the independence and personal growth side of things as a student. Yeah, looking at part-time work, or how you can do things just to kind of, bring yourself along through that kind of study journey, whether that's academic, extra academic support, or just kind of doing different things outside of uni work. So how can we prepare you for the rest of year 12 and beyond? That's what we're here for. We really want to support you over the next 9 to 12 months and work out kind of how we can support you through these key decision points. So these are just a couple of tips that we think would be helpful for you. And that's kind of mapping out your year for the next, until the end of the year, really. So you want to look at things like subject change or withdrawal deadlines. So if you've got an idea of how many preferences you want to add to your application, just kind of make a note of if there needs to be any changes, when that might be. What are the application opening dates? Don't worry, we're going to go through that at the end. But yeah, it's good to just know when those application dates are going to happen. When early offers are released, or when pathway programs are closing. And also scholarship application deadlines as well is a really good one to note. So yeah, these are a couple of the other tips that we think would be super helpful for you and how to set yourself up for success. So look at things like developing your time management skills, practice independent learning. Learning to advocate for yourself is also incredibly important, especially when you're moving for uni and if you're going to look at things like internships or working for someone outside of the university, it's incredibly important. And we really encourage you to explore different study and career pathways, whether that's with us or however that looks. We really just encourage you to look at as many options as you can to kind of set up that future planning. So, how can you stay connected with us over the next few months? So we do have open days coming up. Those dates we will show you in a few slides. But we'll also be hosting more webinars that are specific to the course you're interested in. And we also encourage you to book an appointment with our team as well. So you can book a video call or a phone call appointment with us. We do have representatives all over the country. So we're really kind of happy to chat with you and work through your options. So I am going to hand over to our lovely student ambassadors for the next few slides. So we've got Anna and Imogen here who are going to just talk a little bit about their experience. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hand over to Anna and she's going to chat a little bit about how she kind of made her decision to be here. You can also give us a bit of a rundown of this photo, Anna, and just to give us an idea of what life's like in Tassie for you. And then Imogen will do the same. And then we'll kind of run through a couple of student panel questions as well as some kind of key student support areas. So, Anna, I'm going to hand over to you just for a minute or so. Yeah, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Ellen. So, hey guys, I'm Anna and I am in Hobart right now studying medicine for my first year. So it's really exciting that you guys are in this part of your journey, and I was here like less than a year ago and I know how nervous it can be. So I really empathize with that. So far, I've really enjoyed my experience because being in university and studying a course like mine, you have a lot of advantages. So first of all, you get to meet a lot of people like you, like-minded people, and it's just really fun being in company with them. And especially for me, coming from a rural area, it was just really nice meeting people who were like-minded. And some more is like, you can also meet people from other fields as well. And it's really interesting because we have all varieties of people. Like we have international students, interstate students, people studying all sorts of things. And it's really fascinating just to meet them and getting to know them. And living in Hobart is just amazing because it's such a beautiful city. And I'm so like happy every time I cross the river. Every time I just look out my window and I see such a beautiful view. So right now I'm in student accommodation and I'm on the 12th floor. So the view is just fabulous and there's like lights everywhere. So now going back to this photo, this was actually taken like less than 2 weeks ago. And this is taken in the CRICOS campus in the Burnie Clinical School. And we're standing in the clinical school and just behind you can see the ocean and it's just beautiful. And as Ellen mentioned, a lot of the students there were mentioning about the penguins. It was really beautiful. And one of the main advantages, I think, of studying medicine in UTAS is that it is a 5-year program, which is quite rare in Australia because only a few of universities offer it. Usually it's 6 or even 7 years. Another advantage is the fact that Tasmania and Hobart in itself, if you compare the accommodation prices, it's actually a little bit on the lower end, which I was very happy with because have some of my friends in Adelaide and they were telling me their rent for each week, and I compared it with mine, and it was substantially lower. And the accommodation in itself is very, very supportive. So you have all kinds of social events, clubs happening, people always checking in on you and making sure that you're feeling okay and you're settling in well. And also the social life is amazing. So right now I'm in a 4-bedroom studio. So I have 3 other roommates with me, and they're all from, like, one of them's international, one of them's interstate, and they're all studying different things, and it's just amazing. So yeah, I feel like I rambled on a bit, but hopefully that
No,
was
that's
useful.
amazing, Anna. Thank you so much for giving us your story so far. It's really nice to hear. Thank you. Yeah, Imi, if we could just get you to jump in and just talk a little bit about yeah, your UTAS journey so far, that would be amazing.
Hey guys, I'm Imi. I originally moved from Queensland on the Sunshine Coast, and I just graduated high school last year. And I made the move down to Hobart at the start of this year, which was very exciting, but also daunting, as a lot of you are definitely feeling. I am studying outdoor and environmental education, and I plan to do my Masters of Teaching after that, which is really cool because you can do it through your course and just do a 1-year Masters after. My life in Hobart is insane. It's so much fun. So during my course, I will have 5-day programs where I'm out hiking in the snow, and then we come home and we walk down to Hinsby Beach, where we're all going snorkeling and looking at the kelp and finding sand dollars and handing them to each other. But we also all sit in our, I'm living at John Fisher. I'm currently in Perth, a part of the ambassador program, but I'm in John Fisher in Sandy Bay, which is a little bit out of the CBD. And it is one of the colleges that is offered. So there's 3 colleges: Jane, which is external from the university, and then you have Christ College, John Fisher, and then you have Hitton Hall. And John Fisher is the best, obviously. I'm on the 4th floor, which is D floor, and there are about 8 other outdoor edders on that floor with me, which is just pure luck. And we all live out of each other's pockets in the best way possible. We're waking up early to go surfing. We have a run club over at our Domain campus. They come to my rugby games, and we all hang out together, and it's the best possible place I could have landed. I'm extremely lucky to find the friends that I've had. And it's very true when your parents look at you and go, "You'll find your people at uni." And I go, "I love all my friends at home." I go, "You find your people, and you don't understand how much they mean," with the like-mindedness that Anna was talking about. So the culture and atmosphere down in Hobart, when you know that sustainability and ecological worldview is something that you're passionate about, it's definitely going to be the place for you.
Amazing. Thanks, Simi. That was great to hear. If could you just, I know you've got so many fantastic photos here too, but maybe you could just point out to a couple of, like, the larger ones that we can see, and that would be great.
Definitely. So the photo in the top right is Snug Falls, which is about a 25-minute drive from Hobart. And we do maybe a 3-kilometer hike in, and you can see all my friends, if you look quite closely, they're climbing this massive log that's in there, and we're trying to filter water from the waterfall from things we've learnt at uni. And then after that, we all went 4-wheel driving out at the 4-wheel drive tracks, and we're all hanging out in each other's cars. So I brought my car down with me. It's not a 4-wheel drive, unfortunately. It's just a little RAV4. But everyone who didn't have a car jumped in, and we're all packed in with our seatbelts. But below that, there's a few people hiking on the beach. So that's one of my course field trips that we just did to Maria Island, and we were beach combing for different fauna and flora species that we could put in our nature journal, which is one of our assignments, which is an illustrated book identifying different animals and species. The big camp photo in the middle is me poking my head out of my tent after a 5-day trip in the Central Highlands Plateau, which is in the centre of Tasmania with Tasmanian Land Conservancy. They own the land, and it's called Skullbone Plains, and it feels like you're on another planet. It's absolutely amazing. Once you get past your hands freezing in the morning and you have a hot camp on your stove, everything is just insane. I'm also a part of the rugby team at UTAS. As you can see, the big long one there. I played my first game over the weekend down in Tasmania, and all the people sitting on the grass behind me are all my friends from my college who came to watch me, which I'm very lucky to have all of them sitting there watching me, supporting me, and everyone was very impressed about the support crew that I had. It was quite funny. I had a whole team of cheerleaders behind me, which is such a great feeling when you move to a new city.
That's awesome. Thank you. So I'm going to just go through a few questions that I think these are kind of some of the key things that we think are probably important that prospective students can hear from you both. So I'm going to just run through question by question and I'll get you both to give an answer. So firstly, Anna, what motivated you to apply for an interstate university and how did you make your decision?
So I'm going to be really honest here. So because I wanted to study medicine, I actually applied for pretty much every university in Australia, and I was also fortunate enough to get multiple offers. But what made me choose UTAS in particular, there was actually quite a range of reasons. And the first one I've already mentioned with the shorter program with 5 years. And another reason is the fact that it's actually a smaller cohort. So that means that you'll be more involved. So you'll get to know your teachers better, your cohort better, and you'll be able to take on a lot more responsibility, which is going to mean you're going to learn more, which is incredible. And another factor is the fact that Tasmania and Hobart in itself is quite regional and rural. So it's a very close-knit community. You get to know everybody. And when you graduate, and you want to be an intern, it's just a very straightforward process. And then you can just jump on into the health system and it's very welcoming. And at that point, you would pretty much know a lot of people already from your work placements and things like that. And another factor for me was the fact that the culture, especially in the School of Medicine in UTAS, is quite amazing because medicine, as we all know, is quite a competitive course. And even after getting into medicine, you can see in some universities, there's quite a bit of toxic culture with, like less hyper competitive. Like I've heard stories, but in UTAS, it's just a pass or fail. So the students are very supportive, and we have like study groups, and we get together with each other and like support each other, and we're all in the journey together, and we understand that, and we're not competing against each other. We just want to all graduate and be a part of the society and be helpful.
Thanks, Anna.
Again, yeah, there's so many reasons, but these are the main ones. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you. Imi, if I could get you to answer the same question.
What would happen if I didn't move? I had grown up on the Sunshine Coast, obviously my entire life, but to make a jump to somewhere new, to put myself in an environment that would push me to do greater things. Sunny Coast, it's warm. Tassie is not getting so warm at the moment. We've had beautiful weather for the first few months of the year, and my auntie gave me an electric blanket, and I'm really glad she did. Other than making the push to change location, it was the course. There's other outdoor ed courses, other recreational courses in most parts of the country, but none like UTAS and none with the lecturers and instructors that we have. It's such a more broad practical course as well. We have insane practical field trips, as I was talking about. In my first year, we're doing 5-day trips that are 2 weeks apart, so I don't have to buy many groceries for home. But then in the second year, where this course has also only been running for 2 years, so it's very fresh, very new ideas, new concepts, and it's really exciting because of that. And in the second year, you have still the same amount of practical days and field trips, but they're spread out more and you have longer days. So the Tarkine was a trip that they just went on for 8 days, and they were hiking along the east coast of Tasmania in the Roaring 40s, which is just a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity with minds like our lecturers telling you all the information that you just want to absorb and keep forever. So it never really feels like learning because you're having so much fun, but there's so much more stuff in my brain than there was when I got here.
Amazing, thank you. I'm going to move on to the next question. So Anna, how would you compare university study in terms of workload, expectations, and learning experience so far?
I think university is definitely a very big change from school or college. So one thing is the workload. It is a little bit, especially in medicine, it's a lot more than school. But the expectations are that you will be independent, and but then there's also a lot of support. So we often have workshops, we have lectures, we have practicals. So we have a lot of ways that if you feel like you're falling behind, lecturers can talk to you and make sure that you're feeling okay, everything's going all right. And I think it's just amazing how everybody just is so interconnected and supportive of each other.
Thank you. Imi?
Workload, it's university, so you're going to expect more than high school, and you are expected more of yourself to keep yourself accountable. Nobody's telling you, have you done your homework? Have you done those readings? If you haven't done the readings, you're not going to understand what's going on in class, and that's on you. And you take responsibility for your own learning, which is good because you do the readings after hanging out with your friends, and then you come to class and you feel, I'm onto this, I know it, and you get so much more out of your work when you do it that way. The workload balance for outdoor ed, I think, is different to a lot of courses because we have our practical trips that can get in the way and clash with other subjects, but it's all about knowing what's ahead. And we get all of our trips well in advance, so we know exactly when they are. But it's about balancing and knowing where you need to be, what time, and being prepared. But it's definitely manageable. And all of our assignments, as I was talking about my nature journal earlier, you're drawing and following up questions like, I wonder why this wombat has like one shorter leg than the other. That's the type of stuff I'm Googling at 12 o'clock at night trying to submit an assignment. So it's really interesting stuff. My expectations, I expected a few of my courses to be exactly how they are, and then other ones are surprising me in completely different ways. So just go in with an open mind, and yeah, if you come in with not expecting anything, you're going to be able to get the best out of it, adapting to your new place, your new courses, new lecturers, and new information is going to be coming at you a million miles an hour from everywhere. So it's just being able to adapt to what's coming at you. And then once where we are now, once we've settled into uni, we're in a routine. You do your readings, you go to class, you walk to class, you hop on the uni hopper, however you're going, and it makes it so much more manageable. And my learning experience, I can be sitting in a lecture hall surrounded by theses, and then my next lesson will be outside these were genuine lessons of mine, making tarps, and then the day after we were making hot chocolate on trangias. So my learning experience is very varied. Yeah.
Amazing, thank you. Yeah, another question for you, Anna. So what skills have you developed during your time at UTAS so far, and how do you see these helping in your future career or further study?
So just before I go to this question, I just want to add on to the previous question, if that's
Sure,
okay.
yeah, of course.
So in terms of the workload, right now I'm in first year, so we have online classes Monday and Tuesday. So you would just have these either like Zoom lectures, or you would have pre-recorded lectures, and also reading material. And the other 3 days would be your in-person days, where you would go to uni in person, attend lectures, practicals, and things like that. So that's kind of how the workload is. And the timetable is actually very varied depending on each week. And the thing about med, which annoys me a little bit, is you wouldn't get your timetable until like a week before. So you wouldn't really know like what's happening, which can be a little bit unpredictable. But you would know that Monday and Tuesday you definitely wouldn't have like in-person classes. So that's how it works. And going to the third question with what skills I've learned, I think one thing is cooking. So some of you guys might be very good cooks and might have already like cooked a lot in your schooling life. But for me, I wasn't that good of a cook. But coming and living by myself, I had to cook for myself and get groceries and do everything independently. So I think that was a very good skill that I learned. And also just like just being more confident in myself, and also just speaking out and doing things myself is the biggest thing. Like, for example, for my Centrelink stuff, I had to go to Service Australia, go and talk to them myself, and go to like all sorts of places and doing things yourself. Like, it can be as simple as like catching a bus and working out the bus timetable by yourself and things like that.
Thanks, Anna. And Imi, what about you?
Yeah, I think I've always loved cooking. I think cooking's a big thing that a lot of people get around that is really interesting. We have a camera roll on one of my friends' phones, and it's Fisher feeds, and it's all the failed meals that people were making in the first few weeks, which is quite funny. It's definitely a hurdle that a lot of people face, but it's really nice in outdoor ed when we all come home from a 5-day field trip. The people who are on the alternate field trip will all set up a barbecue and they'll cook for all of us. So I just thought of that, and it's a really nice example of our community that we have at Fisher, which is really
That's
beautiful.
awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. So my skills that I've developed, I think my time management has been tested, definitely, because everything is going on. People want to go to footy training, they want to go do Lego night, they want to go to the pub, they want to do all sorts of different things. They want to go snorkeling and do the skate park and rock climbing. So there's always things that everyone wants to do, and just learning to say no and go, I got to get this done, is something that I've been getting good at. So that's definitely big. And for my future career is the broadening of perspectives. So our course leaders are from all over Australia and all over the world, and just hearing different stories from different people is something that's really inspiring, and their point of view is different to mine and my experience, and so is all of my course mates. A lot of them have had a gap year, some are straight out of high school, so learning from each other is something that I just love doing and will be continuing to do throughout my career, not just my study. So yeah.
Amazing, thank you. And last question for you both. So Anna, what advice would you give to students who are considering moving for uni, whether that's UTAS or just moving for uni in general, but they're unsure whether it's the right path for them?
I think the first advice I would give is just not to feel pressured by social expectations. So, like, if you're not really sure if uni's for you, just make sure you like explore all the options and really understand what you're going into. And then, if you decide uni is the right option for you, I would really advise you to research a lot. So, I think a lot of nervousness comes from not knowing enough information, especially for me. I found out that when I didn't know about something, I would get anxious about it. So if you have decided to go to uni, what I would do is research the accommodation options first and really find out what's the rent, what's the situation like, who do you share it with, and things like that. I would also research scholarships. So UTAS has an amazing scholarship portal. It's very straightforward. You log in, create a profile, you answer a few questions, and then you have access to so many scholarships that you can apply to. And I was lucky enough to get a scholarship as well for moving from a rural area. And also just researching and going through the university website, the university course, and all sorts of things, because as they say, knowledge is wealth. And if you research, you'll be able to find more information and maybe even help out a peer.
Thank you, Anna. And Imi, moving on to you, what would your advice be?
I agree completely with Anna with looking at the more you know, basically. So that's well said. And school's recommendation program is something that I did, and it took so much pressure off my year 12 exams. And I think I actually performed better in my year 12 exams because I wasn't worrying about getting the mark I needed to get into my course. So there's so many different programs that UTAS offers to help you on your way to uni, because they want you to be there, and only if you want to be there. So you can make it happen if you want it to happen. But I was going to say, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Okay, so take that to heart. If you want to go to uni, you can make it happen. You can go try it out. Home is always sitting there for you, and you can always go back. You have the census state. You don't need to gain a hex, but you don't know until you try. So that's what I would say.
Thank you so much. That's been so great just to get a perspective from both of you. Yeah, really, really interesting and just so great to hear both of your stories. Next up, I'm going to just run through a few student support slides, and then we'll go to the Q&A. So we'll just have a quick go over some student support information. So some of this support that's available, we want you to know that flexible study is available to you. So majority of our courses are available to study full-time or part-time, depending on life circumstances. You can do on-campus, online, or accelerated programs, depending on which course you're interested in. And we do quite a number of different combinations for double degrees. So you might be interested in doing law and marine and Antarctic science, for example. That's just one of the kind of very special options that we do at UTAS. And you can really tailor your studies to suit your goals and those kind of things. Some of the questions that we get a lot of questions about is like electives and how you can tailor your course. So a lot of our programs do have those elective unit space. So you could add in an elective from law, for example, or you could be studying a media course and you can add in a unit from marine science or from natural sciences. So there really is a lot of flexibility to kind of make those changes. So this is some of the relocation support available to students relocating to Tasmania. So as of 2025, there was up to $8,000 available through the Support to Study Scholarship Package. We highly encourage you to apply for the Support to Study Scholarship because there is seriously a lot of support available for students who apply for those.
It makes the world of difference. Sorry, Ellen, but
no, go for it.
If you're coming from a rural area, they're unlikely to say no, and it really, really helps out. I moved my car, I had to fly down, I had to buy stuff when I got here, and it really, really helps.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, thanks, Imi. And we also have hundreds of scholarships. I know Anna kind of mentioned that as well, that when you apply for scholarships, you just do it through the scholarship portal and you can basically kind of select a number of different scholarships available. So we really encourage you to kind of look at the scholarships available to your study area and for your personal circumstances. So this is just kind of a little bit of information about the college communities that are here. I know Imi's kind of touched on it a little bit with her John Fisher experience at the moment, but this is just really like a small snapshot into some of the kind of college opportunities that are available. And this is, when we say college, we mean living on campus at a college accommodation. That's kind of what that means, if that isn't clear already. But these are some of the options that are available to students, whether that's a ball or a huge kind of team dinner, day trips, all sorts of support available. And I will say, living on campus, there is really so much not just kind of support in terms of like security, that you're there and you're safe, but there's a lot of study support groups available through your student accommodation. I don't know if either of you can give us an insight into the support available in accommodation just briefly.
Yeah, our accommodation has so many different options. They have study nights. Last night they had a ton of Tim Tams, so that's good motivation to study. But they also have things like pass groups, which are held by other students who have done the courses before and stuff like that. But we also have student advisors who are always willing to help set up learning access plans if you need more support needed.
Thanks, Amy. Yeah, that's super helpful. Yeah, the student advisors are really there to support you through the whole process. And whether that's you're halfway through your program and you decide, oh, I'm not sure if this major's for me, or not sure about my specialization, I want to make some changes, they're always kind of there to kind of help you with that and yeah, support you through that process.
Can
So
I
our
just
next,
add in a little bit? Sorry.
of course, yeah.
So I'm actually living in Highton Hall, which is right in the CBD, and it's just like 5 minute walk to the medical science precinct, and it's in the heart of the city. The shopping mall, everything is close by, and the walk to the river is like 10 minutes max, and it's just beautiful. And there's so much support, and there's always stuff going on. So we have like a WhatsApp group chat, and I get like 10 messages in a day about everything that's happening. So we have movie nights, we have like assignment support, we have all sorts of things. We have like cultural events, we have gaming nights, we have like sport groups, and we also have like lots of clubs as well, just in the accommodation. So my roommate, she's part of a club called the City Slugs, which is like a gardening club, and they grow like little plants, which is cute. So there's so much support, and we also have like advisors who like check in on you every now and again, and you can just book an appointment with them if you're feeling like you're struggling, or if you're facing any challenges, and they're always very supportive, and they'll always have a chat with you about whatever it is.
Thanks, Anna. That's super helpful as well. So just to kind of wrap up our webinar, we just really kind of want to talk to you about the early offer program at UTAS. So the early offer program with us, it's a really kind of simple, straightforward process. You can see here's the key dates for this year. It opens on the 25th of June, and it's basically just a direct application online. What we do is we contact your school once you've submitted your application. We do all the work. You just submit the first application, and then we contact your school. They submit a recommendation on your behalf. And all being well, you could apply by the 25th of June and have an offer on the 27th of July. And you've then just kind of got your exams to focus on. The offer that you receive is conditional on you completing year 12. So we obviously don't want you to just get the offer and then run off. You still need to sit your exams and get through the end of year 12. But yeah, it really is just to kind of take the pressure off. And the only courses that are not available for early offers is medicine and paramedicine as well. But everything else is available through the school's recommendation program. Imi, maybe you could just give us just a super quick insight into your application process.
Yeah, I did the school's recommendation program, which I submitted on the first day that it opened, and I got my offer straight back. And I talked to my student counselor, my careers counselor at school, and she said, you should do this. I did it. And then I went around to all my teachers and they were like, I sent it in. You better get in. And it was really good. So it takes all the pressure off you, and it just makes it such an easy, supportive way to get to uni, basically.
Thanks, Imi. I am just going to correct myself. Apologies. I said that you can have an offer by the 27th of July, but it's actually the round one offer is the 3rd of September. So apologies for that, everybody. You apply on the 25th of June, and then by the 3rd of September, you could receive your round one offer. So I hope that makes sense and just clarifies the answer to that question. So we are kind of heading towards the end of our webinar this evening. I'm just going to leave these dates open for you just so that you've got them here in the background. But what I'm going to do is we've just got a few minutes just to answer some of our Q&A questions. So I'm going to run through some of these now. So Juliet has asked us, if you receive an early offer, can you defer for a year? So the answer to that is yes, you can, but not if it's a course that requires like a placement. So for example, nursing and pharmacy, you can't actually defer offers to those courses because there's placement requirements for those courses. And so we've also got a question, where do we get placement for the Sydney campus? That's a really good question. So if you're a Sydney campus student doing nursing or paramedicine, I'm not sure which courses would be for, but if you're based in Sydney, you can actually be with any of the health districts within New South Wales. So majority of our students completing the nursing program would be in like Sydney, Greater Sydney, the Illawarra region, as well as like Blue Mountains, that kind of area. And next question, are there any courses offered for early entry? Yes, so as mentioned, so all of our courses are available for early entry or early offers. The only courses not available is medicine and paramedicine. So a question here from Bella is it possible to change campuses for the same course if you change your mind? This is a tough one. It really depends on the individual case for this question, I would say. So, for example, the scenario might be that you start to do Bachelor of Science at the Hobart campus, and then you decide that you want to move to the Launceston campus. It's really a question that has to be decided with your course coordinator. Not saying that it's, not an option, but it's just something that has to kind of be assessed on a case by case basis. It's not something that we encourage on like a regular basis because we like students to kind of be settled and kind of create, that settled lifestyle where they're going to be. So I hope that kind of answers that question. Imi, I'm going to direct a question to you. Zoe has asked the question, how much of the outdoor education course is practical?
It is not just in class. We have our practical, we'll be sitting there learning from our teachers, tying knots at our desks, but week to week, you could have, it eases you in. So we have one overnight and then 2 nights, and then we do 4 nights, 5 nights, and it builds up across the semester. So you're probably going to be out on practical once a fortnight at least for smaller trips. Like while I'm away, they're doing a sea kayaking trip across Ullum Cliffs just for the day. And last week we're on Maria Island for 5 days. So there's definitely plenty of practical if that's what you're into. If you don't want to get out in the outdoors, outdoor ed is not for you. But it is a bucket load of fun. So please do it. Amazing.
Thanks, Imi. That's awesome. Another question from Sienna here is, do any of the uni clubs do trips like the ones Imogen was talking about? I believe the answer to that is yes, but I think you could probably elaborate for me.
Yeah, so we have an outdoor ed club. So we do things like navigation in the bush and other types of stuff like that. And we do trips. We also do conservation type things where we could be going to collect invasive sea urchins and things like that. That's for the outdoor ed club, but also with other clubs like the Whitewater Rafting Club. They did a 2-night trip and they did an entry to whitewater rafting. So people that have never done it before could learn the basics, the skills, meet everyone to potentially do longer trips like the 8-day Franklin trip later in the year. And another one, they have a scuba diving club, which they do shore dives and boat dives. So there's all sorts of different clubs where you can go do overnight camps, hikes, and also a part of your colleges, they do day hikes as well.
Amazing. And I know, just to add to that, Imi, in orientation, like the first few weeks, there's a lot of trips that happen in those couple of weeks as well that you can register for. They're obviously a really good way to kind of meet new people. So there's plenty of opportunity to do trips, whether that's as part of your course, in a club, or even just doing day trips with friends. There's so many things to do.
Yeah, our first week we did a sunrise on Mount Wellington, which Hobart looks over. And we also went cliff jumping at Eagle Hawk, which was just amazing. So, yeah.
Amazing. Thank you. I'm going to just move on to a couple of our questions because we've just got a couple more minutes. So Ruby's asked the question, are the classes mainly online or in person? And the answer to that is majority of our classes we prefer to deliver to students face to face. There is obviously some online requirements for some courses because it depends who the tutor is that's teaching that class. But we definitely do have a blended offer at UTAS, but we prefer students to attend in person where possible. But we have to have flexible options for students attending online, because we obviously have plenty of other students that might be based at home or can be based across the whole country. So there is definitely kind of both opportunities there for the online or face-to-face options. So some of the questions we've got here, I've actually got another outdoor ed question, Imi, just from Rosie. She's asking, I'm not sure if you can answer this actually, but we'll go for it anyways. It says for the outdoor ed course, if I'm doing a double degree, will I still be able to participate in all the field trips? I'll just answer the first part and then hand off to you. At this stage, we're confirming whether the outdoor ed course is able to be combined as a double degree. So that's something that we're just kind of working to get the answer for you for that, Rosie. It's something that's being checked at this stage. But I imagine it wouldn't make a difference for the field trips.
I have friends who are doing a year of their science degree and now a year of their outdoor ed degree. So they're doing a double just spread out over time. But also, if you are doing a double and you choose different electives for outdoor ed, it can work towards both your degrees. So plenty of people in my course are not doing one of our subjects and doing bio of plants instead. So there's always ways to be working towards both your degrees, and still they make all the field trips and everything works. The lecturers really make sure that everything lines up together, as long as you try and get it all sorted at the start of the semester so you're not chopping and changing halfway through.
Thanks, Imi. That's super helpful. So yeah, thank you so much everybody for joining, and we look forward to engaging with you over the next few months. Thank you.